Dog refuses to leave the church. Then the priest checks the camera and sees the unthinkable. The locals in Italy were happy to attend Mass in the church every day. It was a way to socialize and help the community. However, there was one strange thing about the Mass: a dog would also accompany them to the church. No one knew who the owner was, therefore, the priest one day decided to investigate the dog. He checked the security footage and was completely taken aback when the pastor found the truth. A church in a small town in Italy would hold a Mass every single day and people had no complaints about it. Along with humans, an animal would also attend the congregation without fail, and the locals initially had no problems. But then, when this became a regular thing, the churchgoers became curious about the dog. They never saw the German Shepherd with his master. Was it homeless, or the story was something else? The priest also noticed the four-legged animal, who would come alone, and then leave when the Mass gets over. The man wasn't aware that the dog came into the church with the intention that would break everyone's hearts. At first, the people didn't mind the presence of the German Shepherd as it would sit quietly in one place. They never heard the animal barking or making any kind of sound. Instead, the poor dog would just stare at one seat with sad eyes. This made certain people in the congregation uncomfortable because they thought that the loyal friend could see ghosts. But the priest knew that the case was something else since he too had dogs. The man could notice the sorrow in the dog's eyes. The pastor felt that he had seen this German Shepherd somewhere but couldn't put a finger on it. That is why he decided to dig deep into the matter, and when the truth was revealed, the churchman couldn't control his tears. He found out that the dog was homeless and would wander from street to look for food. This broke his heart, and therefore, one day the priest requested people to take turns taking care of the dog. The people obviously agreed, as dogs are the most loved pet, and are known to be man's best friend. They would bring food and all kinds of things for the dog to make him happy and comfortable. The religious churchgoers decided to bathe him since they didn't know when was the last time the animal was cleaned. When they approached him, the German Shepherd looked at them with curious eyes. He wasn't scared and noticed what these humans were doing to him, and after a long time, he wagged his tail. The kind people were also happy to see the animal happy. It felt as if they had achieved their goal. Then the pastor decided to take the dog to the vet for a checkup to see whether he was healthy or not. The animal, without any resistance, went along with the priest, and thankfully, the four-legged creature was physically fit. Both were returning to the church when suddenly a boy came running from a shop and hugged the dog. The man was confused. Was the boy the owner? He thought to himself, if yes, then why was the faithful being roaming the streets like a stray animal? He asked the little boy whether he knew this dog, and the kid answered yes and said that a few months back, he would look at the dog with the woman going to the church. Instead of solving his doubts, the boy's answer further confused the priest and, at the same, made him more inquisitive. Turns out the dog's name was Tommy, but who was the woman and where is she now? The pastor immediately went to the church and decided to look at the camera footage. Fortunately, they kept the old footage, and he hoped that it would give some information about the dog and its owner. While scrolling through the old files, the clergyman saw the dog and an old woman accompanying him. Then it strikes him that this elderly woman was Maria and was 57 years old. She had adopted Tommy after finding him abandoned in the fields near her home. The dog would accompany the woman at the church and would sit patiently at a corner while Maria took the seat in the front. The animal would wait for the Mass to get over, and then return to the house with its owner. It had become a habit. Sadly, a few months after Maria passed away due to old age, leaving the German Shepherd alone again. The dog didn't know what to do, so it would go to the church every day hoping that his owner would come back. The story brought tears to the priest's eyes, and therefore, he decided to adopt Tommy. Since the man had dogs before, he knew how to take care of them, plus Tommy would not be alone.